Well, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, originally born and raised, and that has a huge influence on my sound and the band sound. Actually, the band members are from Texas, so when I met them here in Austin, it's literally a clashing of the sounds. You know, they bring classic Texas to the mix. There's a country element, a folk element, and again, being from Detroit, bringing a really hard edge, raw sound, mixing those two together, and that's it's pretty dynamic at that point. Caving In is going to be on the album coming out soon, and the way that was, I wrote that song maybe 3 years ago, and it was highly emotional for me. I just had a daughter 3 years ago, so that was right before she was born, and not because of her, but because of situations that arise when you're a first-time parent. And at the time, I actually crossed over from being a crazy alcoholic to completely sober. So switching everything around in my life just brought a lot of weight, well, a lot of clarity, but with clarity comes a lot of weight. And with that weight, I felt the pressure on my shoulders everywhere around me, and I felt like, it's caving in as an instrument to express that, what I was going through at the time. Preparing for the festival is really different, being that it's in our backyard. Usually when we're on the road, we all pull up in the van and we all get out and we do exactly what we do every single night. But when we're at a festival in our own backyard, it's actually a lot more coordination than any other show. We're so used to being in the van for 250, 280 days a year. That's just so streamlined. You just get in the van, get to the show, play the show, get out, get back on the road. This is getting all the pieces together, getting everything, making sure everyone's taken care of, and then we show up and we know half the staff that's working the event anyway. So it's really great. It's just very, very different than being in some random city at some random point of the year. Touring different cities, a lot of the stuff it doesn't feel very meaningful. Venue after venue after venue all kind of feels the same. So what's meaningful is when you meet a group of really great people that will take you in as family while you're so far from your own. So that is really what changes our insight into different cities. If someone will take us into their city and show us what they feel is genuine, and if we can relate to that, that's what makes a city for us. So that could be anywhere. That could be New York City or it could be any city, big or little. It's usually the really small towns though that will take you in, and they're just so impressed with what we're bringing to their community that they feel that they have to show off their community, and that's always the best. That's the best feeling we could possibly get. That's what. It might not be why we got into music, but it keeps us in this career. The really heartfelt response that we get. So that's the best part. Well, right now we're a 4-piece. We have a drummer who also plays keys with his left hand, and he sings. So he's kind of a one-man show on his own. And then on my other side is bass player singing, and behind me is 2 keyboards and vocals. So we're doing 4-part harmonies, and I'm playing guitar and singing. So we're very vocal oriented, and then we kind of play instruments, so it helps. Oh sure, Frenchie, he's one of my best friends. He's become one of my best friends through the production of our last record, and he gets me, he gets us. He just really, he's one of the first people I met when I moved to Austin, and it's become the strongest bond that I have even now. I've never related with a producer as much as I have with him, and he's been able to draw sounds out of me that I didn't know exist, and vice versa. I feel if he was here right now, sitting next to me, he'd tell you the same thing. And it's just it's a brotherhood between the two of us that is unbreakable. It's so great. It's such a great person for me to be involved with. We're actually in the middle of writing right now. We were off the road for a minute, and songwriting for me personally is exploring all the experiences that I've had on the road, off the road. It just those things come so fast and they leave so fast. So it's kind of hard for me to write in the moment while everything's shifting all around me. But once we get home, we have some time to breathe, and that's when the songwriting really takes place for myself and for the guys. It's a really delicate thing. We're just chasing. It feels like I'm chasing all the time right now. Sometimes it's given to me, but most of the time I'm just chasing. So I don't know if that helps at all, but that's songwriting for me. It's just a constant. It's a beautiful struggle. I love it, but it's a thing we're always trying to track down. Well, our soon-to-be released album that's coming out first quarter 2016. That's done. I mean, that thing's been done for about 6 months, and that's very Motown inspired. I'm from Detroit. You can hear Detroit in that. And again, the guys being from Texas, it almost hears like you almost hear an innocence to the approach because they aren't from where I'm from, but you can hear that they're adapting, and you can hear it in the songs that they're adapting to it, and they're still adding their own flavor from where they're from, and it's beautiful. But now they're already writing for album 5, which is, who knows when that's going to be ready, but we're working on that, and it's just it's scattered, but it's entirely concise because we are scattered. We're all over the world all the time, so it's like influenced by all brand new things to all of us, but at the same time, it's we know our direction, we know our sound, we're very comfortable in our own skin, so we're implementing both sides of that fence, and it feels good. I'm Daniel from Leopold and His Fiction, and this is Grammy Pro.